In this episode, I'm going to continue where we left off, summarizing the quest lore for the Blood Elf starting zone. So if you missed the last episode, then go ahead and click this link right above over here. But if you're all caught up and ready to go, then let's find out what's going on in World of Warcraft. So, I warned everyone in the past that 3 episodes into this zone, it's gonna get crazy. Things are gonna start out pretty streamlined, but about 3 episodes into this, it's gonna get crazy. Well, here we are. So I'm gonna warn you right now, this is gonna be a long episode, and it's gonna turn messy really quick. So hang in there and give yourself some time because we're gonna push through this quest lore together. Okay. Here we go. Last time we were instructed to head back to the North Sanctum right outside of Falcon Wing Square to basically murder a guy named Prospector Anvilward because he's part of some spy conspiracy. When you speak to him, you tell him that you need a moment of his time. He says that you must be the person that was assigned to him to show him around Eversong Woods and that you took your sweet time getting here. But you reply with yes, of course. And that you got something to show him inside of this building over here. So you make your way into the building and up the ramp. Anvilward feels that something is up and warns you that he won't go down quietly if you plan to do an ambush on him. But whatever, you kill him and remove his head as proof of his death. And there we go. Then you head out of the sanctum and make your way back to Falcon Wing Square to report back to Captain Eildon Sunbrand. You deliver the dwarf's head, and Eildon says that the word has been passed on to the Ranger General about what happened. He then rewards you with either the Bloodhawk Claymore or a long knife for having murdered the Prospector. Captain Sunbrand tells you that Ranger Degolian was sent to Fairbreeze village in order to find out more about an attack from the Wretched on a nearby shipyard. He's requested reinforcements, but Eildon can't provide those at the moment, and was hoping that you wouldn't mind helping out in whatever way that you can. Fairbreeze village is located directly to the south of your current location, so now you leave Falcon Wing Square behind, making your way through the Eversong Woods, only to run into apprentice Rollin. He says that he and a fellow apprentice were attacked by some Wretched, and they took mostly everything that they had. Mana crystals, wands, spellbooks, you name it. The other apprentice named Melidor chased after them, while Rollin stayed here to look over after everything that wasn't stolen. He wants you to head south and look for Melidor and see what you can do to help out. So you continue heading south and run into apprentice Melidor. He says that the Wretched are gone for now because he scared them off with a fireball. But the bad thing is, they threw the stolen cargo into the river. The main thing that he's worried about is his instructor's elemental grimoire, and he's sure that he saw one of the Wretched throw it in. He needs a second pair of eyes to find the thing in the water. So you make your way into the river, find the grimoire, and return it to Melidor. He says that the book is completely soaked. And of course it is, because it's been in the river. But hands you some coin and says that he has an idea. He says that his instructor, Anthiol, is gonna lose it when he finds out that his book is ruined. So get this. Melidor wants you to deliver it to him, but says to not mention anything that happened with the Wretched and everything being stolen, but wants you to just say that you dropped it into a puddle. And because he has no direct authority over you, there's nothing much he can really do. First off, why would you have his book? And second, now you have to listen to this guy yell and be upset. You just got played by a few apprentices. You can find Anthiol at the Stillwater Pond southeast of Silvermoon City, and we'll get to that later. But first, we need to get down to Fairbreeze village. So you continue on the path until you eventually arrive. Okay. This is it. This is where everything falls apart. There are a ton of people to talk to. So let's get to work and find out what these people need. Stay with me on this, just stay with me on this. The first thing you do is report to Ranger Degolian. He tells you that things are worse than they had anticipated, and says that the Wretched have completely taken over Sunsail Anchorage. They plan on taking it back once reinforcements arrive. But until then, he wants you to go there and kill 5 Wretched thugs and 5 Wretched hooligans, so that they can know exactly who they're messing with. Sunsail Anchorage is located directly west of Fairbreeze village. Now you speak with Magistrix Landra Dawnstrider. So she's pissed off because some guy named Lord Salthoril is trying to throw a party, and he keeps bugging her about gathering supplies for it, when what's really important is the fact that this village is under attack. So she wants you to speak to Lord Salthoril, and hopefully you can calm him down a bit. Landra then asks you for another favor. One of her apprentices left to do some research at the East Sanctum, right in the middle of the Dead Scar. She says that this line of research that her apprentice is doing is a bit on the dangerous side. So Landra wants you to try and find her, and convince her to come back to Fairbreeze Village. Lastly, man, she has you doing a lot of stuff. Her nephew was sent to the Ghostlands a few days ago. He didn't mention anything about his task, except that it was extremely secretive in nature. Well, he never came back. And he's like a son to Landra. So she wants you to head south and look for Courier Dawnstrider as you approach the Ghostlands. Now you speak to Marneil Amberlight. She says that the village is being attacked by the Scourge from the east, and by the Wretched from the west. Ranger Saren is the one in charge for keeping the border safe, and she could definitely use your help. So Marneil asks if you can help Saren out, and says to report to her just outside of the village. Standing next to Marneil is Arden Riverwind. He says that a foul corruption in the soil preceded the expansion of the Scourge into this new area, and that the protective runestones along the border of the Ghostlands have warded the land against this in the past. But the westernmost runestone was destroyed during the Scourge invasion, which forced them to burn the ground around it, so that the contamination wouldn't spread. His sister, Lariana Riverwind, watches over the Scorched Grove, and he wants you to seek her out because she might have some work for you to do. You can find the Scorched Grove just to the southwest of Eversong Woods. Lastly, in this building, you run up to Sathiel. She's the trade supplier here in the village, and she says that they're running low on stuff. But Silvermoon did promise to send materials, so she wants you to take a letter over to Skymaster Brightdawn and deliver it to someone in Silvermoon City. And just when I thought we were done with the main village introductions, here we go with another one. The last person that you speak to is Velen Brightoak, and he says that the Springpaw that inhabit this region are known for their high quality pelts. But with their skirmish against the Armani trolls and the rangers not having time to hunt these pelts, well, the supply's a bit low. He's wondering if you wouldn't mind collecting 6 Springpaw pelts. And when you do, he'll make you a handcrafted piece of armor. Okay, are you still with me? Because this is a ton of information. Let's do this one thing at a time. First off, you run north and collect the 6 Springpaw pelts by killing and looting Springpaw stalkers. After that, you travel to Saltheral's Haven and speak to Lord Saltheral himself. He says that it's about time that Magic's Dawnstrider responded to his request, and that he'll speak to someone higher up in Silvermoon about her attitude. So, this guy likes to throw parties, but he's missing a few key party supplies. He wants you to bring him a bottle of Sun-Touched Special Reserve from Vinemaster Sun-Touched at the Silvermoon City Inn, some Springpaw appetizers from Zaleen First Light at the Farstrider Retreat, and fireworks from Hallis Dawnstrider at Fairbreeze Village. As far as the party materials, we'll collect them as we go. So now you head out and meet up with Lariana Riverwind. She says that it was a very hard decision to burn the woods that border the Ghostlands, well, in order to prevent the Scourge expansion. The thing is, the tree ants, who we've been friends with for a very, very long time, are trying to regrow the area. And we've tried to explain to them why this can't happen, but they're just not listening. So Lariana says that you need to go out and stop them by killing 10 withered greenkeepers. This is an unfortunate thing that we have to do, but let's get this done right away. So you head out and kill 10 of the tree ants. Then you return to Lariana to report. She curses these times as well as the Scourge. And even though she's upset that we had to kill our allies, that being the tree ants, she says that our lands must be protected, no matter the cost. Now that that's done, it's time to head south, right by the border of the Ghostlands and Eversong Woods, and meet up with Courier Dawnstrider, who doesn't seem to look so good. He asks for help, stating that he needs to reach Tranquillion. Then he passes out, which leads you to speak to Thedra. She says that this courier is within minutes of having a plague take over his body, and that not even a master apothecary like herself will be able to save him once that happens. So she needs you to head south across the river and hunt down the plagued beasts over there, collecting 4 plagued blood samples. Once you have those, bring them back to Thedra, so she can do what she needs to do for the courier. So now you head across the river, kill the plagued beasts for their blood samples. Then you head back to Apothecary Thedra and hand her what you gathered. She quickly makes a potion and administers it to the courier, which starts working really quick. And now the courier wants to speak to you. Well, maybe on the ground is best. He says that he can't continue his journey and asks you to deliver a letter from Regent Lord Theron in Silvermoon to Arcanist Vandril in Tranquillion, which is located south of here in the Ghostlands. So since this is an introduction to a completely different zone, we'll hold off on doing this until we're done with Eversong Woods. Now it's time to head back north, straight into Fairbreeze Village, and speak with Ranger Saren. She says that we've experienced an increase in Scourge attacks, and that our defenses are barely holding on. Plus, there doesn't seem to be any reinforcements from Silvermoon City, so Ranger Saren wants you to kill 4 Rotlim Marauders and 4 Dark Wraiths, then return and report. So you head out to the Dead Scar, and kill the Rotlims as well as the Dark Wraiths. After that's done, you return to Ranger Saren. She thanks you for having dealt with the Scourge, and says that the increase in attacks makes her believe that something is wrong with the protective rune stones, located at the border of the Ghostlands. These stones were used as protection against the undead, and most of them were destroyed or lost after the attack on the Sunwell. She wants you to travel south, exactly where you just came from, and speak with Rune Warder Durian to see if anything is wrong. So you head south again and look for Rune Warden Durian to find out what may be wrong with the protecting ancient stones. As you can tell, I felt like this area was getting way out of hand. We're going left and right, up, down, and I just couldn't find a good place to stop. Right when I thought that we've reached the most unorganized starting zone, which was Mulgore, this comes along. So if you made it this far, props to you. But I had to cut it off at some point because doing long episodes like this take a lot of time in my week to edit, and that's time I really don't have. So the next episode, we'll continue right where we left off. A huge shout out to the Patreon subscribers for supporting this project. If you'd like to help out, then go ahead and check out the Patreon link down below. Also, make sure to like and subscribe and share this with your friends. And with that, we'll continue the quest lore next week when we find out what happens next in the Tales of Azeroth. He's wondering if you wouldn't mind collecting 6 Springpaw melts.